Well, hey TikTok, welcome back to our weekly live Ask Me Anything sessions. We're here for the next hour answering your questions, and I cannot wait to dive in and get those things answered. Hey to everybody joining us. Thank you for the Queen comments. I do love those. This week I was dubbed the Queen of Book Talk, which I am so excited for, and if you have not jumped onto the Book Royals hashtag, I do hope you will. What I'm asking people to do is grab a crown, make a crown, just, something sparkly in your hair, it's all good, and then grab your books. If you're an author, show off your books. If you're a reader, just show off a stack of your books and do a duet with me. You can do your own type thing, but use that Book Royals hashtag. So it's just hashtag Book Royals with an S, it's plural, and let's support each other and raise up this group of Book Royals. You are more than welcome to dive in. We've already had a number of authors jump in yesterday and show off their crowns and their books, so I want you guys to jump in on that one as well. And we are, of course, doing lots of fun, fabulous things on the TikTok page that I am so excited that you guys are joining us for. And remember, the more you chat with me today, the more likely you are to win an ebook of your choice. Everything is up for grabs except for the omnibuses, because those are more than one book in one. But you can, hang out with me. And I don't limit how many times you can win, so technically you could, win all of my books. That's just the thing. So the more you show up, the more you chat with me, the more likely you are to win. I'm super excited to see all of you, and I see the questions are coming in, so let me go ahead and dive in. What is your favorite book that you haven't mentioned on TikTok or isn't one of your own? Okay, so, just to preface, I have lots of books. I have over 24 books. You should totally read my books. For me, I typically say that the very influential books in my life were The Hunger Games, Divergent, the Selection series, and a Sinner series. Those very much influenced the way that I do my writing, the way I create my endings and my characters. So if you've not checked those out, definitely recommend. And I've got lots of videos on TikTok on those as well, so you can learn a little bit more about them, the behind the scenes of the stories, all the good things. And of course, we talk about my author friends' books all the time as well. So there's lots and lots of options there. Any routines to recommend for someone who wants to read but is really busy? Well, you need to prioritize what is a priority to you. So if reading is a priority, then I would suggest that you get yourself out of bed early, or go to bed a little late, or learn to eat your lunch with your one hand on your food and one hand with the book. Multitasking can be a great thing, or, adding a little time to your day by not sleeping as long or not watching TV. It really just comes down to what your priorities are. And if you really need a routine, I would say get up 15 minutes early and read for 15 minutes before you get out of bed, or maybe read for 15 minutes before you go to bed. Set yourself a time limit and then do it every day. Then it becomes kind of part of your routine, whatever works best for you. Your power went out yesterday, so you got the whole day to read. Oh, Sophie, that's awesome. That's very exciting. Jump in with your questions. I would love to get those answered. Am I seeing the fabulous, I think I am. Oh, yes, I am. Kimberly Graham. All right, guys. By the way, our queen is here. If you need financial information, advice, girl is all about teaching you how to save money and budget and do all the great things. Go check out Kimberly right here. She's actually on my talk show for my social media strategy, so if you want to see us hanging out together, totally do that now. Lots and lots of fun. Go check her out. Those are wonderful series. My daughter 11 started getting into reading them. Those are on her. I assume that's list, but I think it cut it off on you. That's fantastic. I love those series. I'm a dystopian girl. I love my sci-fi. That's been very influential in my life, and if you hate how mean I am to my characters, you can thank Veronica Roth for that, because that was 100% that lady's fault. I'm just saying. Scrolling back up, because this jumps a lot for me. What made you want to start writing? P.S. I absolutely love your content and your books. And a rose petal, thank you. I actually started writing by accident. So I had been reading stories back when I had gotten out of college. I had started doing my teaching, and I had a little bit of more time in my schedule than I did in college, because I was busy, and I started grabbing young adult books, because I had totally skipped over that growing up. I went from middle grades all the way to the adult. YA was not a thing for me. And so I get out of college and I start I don't know, maybe my students recommended it, maybe I just picked up books, I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure how it was, because it was many years ago. And I started getting into these books, and then I started working with these authors, and then I found a book that I couldn't find another book similar to after, because I didn't know how to search on Amazon. I was a sad little person back in the day. I know now, but back then I couldn't search Amazon very well for similar books, and so I couldn't find what I wanted to read, so I wrote what I wanted to read, and then I wrote another book, and then I wrote another book, and then my friend found out, and my friend said, you have to query this. So I started querying books, and I almost immediately started getting attention from people. There were some bidding wars on some of my books. There were contracts offered to me. I turned them all down. I waited an entire year and didn't do anything with my books or my writing. And then I found the right fit for me, and here we are 3 years later with a multi-time best-selling author and dozens of published books out in the world. It was an accident. I never meant to become an author. I never set out for it. But the second I decided to take that step, I started treating it like a business, and I moved much further than if I just kind of like halfway did things as I was going and hoped something would happen. How should I describe a character properly and realistically? It's really a good idea to follow along with what happens in conversations that you are experiencing or that you're watching. I want you to be paying attention to the people around you. If you are somebody who isn't hyper aware of how people behave and react in the way that they move and the way that their bodies move and react to things, you need to start studying this. So keep a notebook, like take notes. When you see somebody getting mad, what are the things that you're noticing? The way that their eyes shift shape. Like if they're mad, we're going to get a little harder in the facial features, right? The jaw's going to get a little tighter. Maybe it's going to lock up a little bit. You might see people kind of change their stance or their posture. So you're going to start looking for the way that people are physically moving and reacting to things. You want to see how their voice changes or how the pitch of their voice changes. If they're talking faster, if they're talking slower. What happens when somebody gets excited? They talk really, really fast, right? Like when y'all know when you hang out with me and I get really into talking about something, I go really fast. I sit up a little bit higher. I lean a little bit closer. My eyes get bigger. I am saying things in a very fast way and I'm being very engaging and I'm using my hands. If I'm upset about something, I probably get a little quieter. I am not talking to things. My mouth is going to be a little more, it's going to kind of like feel like it's wired shut a little bit because we don't open it as wide if we're trying to contain our frustration rather than yell at somebody. We're going to have much harsher lines kind of like right up here around our eyes. So we want to be very aware of what's happening in the physical realm with people. And then you want to be aware of like spatial things as well. If somebody is into somebody and they're like flirting, they're going to lean in, they're going to be like touching their arm, you know, that kind of thing. But if they feel a little bit concerned about somebody, they're going to put some distance there. So somebody's going to lean back on their heel. They're going to put that physical space in between them and the person they're a little bit concerned about. So pay attention to these things and start writing them down. And then as you're writing and describing things inside of your book, use these terms. And you need to show, not tell. Don't tell me she's angry. Show me she's angry by the way her body changes, by the way her voice changes, by the things that she's saying, the speed that she's talking, the proximity to the person, what's happening. Show that to me and explain that in detail to then convey the emotion that she is feeling. So there you go, crash course in that. Highly recommend looking up like theatery stuff because they do this type of training all the time, and just keep a very good list of what people are doing and reacting and saying and like all those things. Love you too, Kimberly Graham. You are fantastic. KG Financial, guys. KG Financial, go hang out. Oh, it jumped on me. Hang on. Always with the jumping. Wait, are you supposed to sleep? Just one more chapter? No! What? We don't sleep in the book world. If we're reading, we're reading. And if we're writing, we're writing. Speaking of which, I got a secret. Y'all want a secret? Because I have one. So here's the deal. I've told you guys a little bit about this before. I told you a lot of this on a live stream that was not filmed and not repurposed because I knew it wasn't going anywhere. So I told people secrets. Today's is being filmed and repurposed on YouTube. So I can't go into too much detail, but I have something big. It's a big project. It's a multi-something project. It's coming out very, very soon, and it is time-specific and time-sensitive. And that's all I can tell you, but y'all have been bugging me for something like this, and I am doing it for you. And it is going to be good, and exactly 2 people know the details of this, and both of them flipped out over it. So it's coming, it's happening, it's a thing. Stay tuned. Favorite book that I have written. I usually say Golden and Jaded. They were my debut twins. They came out just a couple of weeks apart, and they just have very special meaning to me. So I love my Goldilocks retelling and my Dystopian that has been called the YA Mr. and Mrs. Smith. So fun things in there. Favorite character that I've written, that would be Illyria, my Goldilocks and Dove Bear, my baby bear from Golden, and then Jade from the Jade Duology, and Annika and Hansel from Sugar Coated. And I'm stopping because I would probably say about 4 more things and then probably think of a couple more, so I'm going to stop there, but that's what I got for you right now, and we're moving on because I will keep talking about that. Which of my books is my favorite cover artwork? I don't know. I'm never able to answer that question. I get that one a lot. I don't know. They're all so pretty, and they've all got just like my gorgeous characters on them and like all the fun pretty thing. I don't know. They're so pretty. But you tell me which you think is your favorite of my book covers. I would love to hear which ones you guys love, because I can't make up my mind. Is there such a thing as describing physical surroundings too much or too little? Yes. Yes, there is. If you go into too much detail with like the world around you, that can get very boring. So you do need to break that up with dialogue, and with action and with things. So you do need to be describing it enough for us to kind of picture it and create that visual within our heads. But if you are getting like super descriptive, if it's like 4 pages of world describing before anything happens, you've lost us. So you do need to keep it where we can clearly imagine what we're seeing, people can clearly tell what's going on, but not so much that it's like, is anything gonna happen? Anything? No? That's kind of like the barometer for this. And if you're not sure in your own writing, ask someone else. An outsider who is not close to this will be able to tell if it's like getting a little on the boring side or if it's really not painting the picture enough. So ask for help on that one. Beta readers, good things. Coffee is a good trade-off to sleep. You can enjoy it with a book. Haha, you guys are funny. I like how enthusiastic you get in your videos. I know, I try to be all cute and peppy. I'm an introvert, guys. I am not an extrovert, but I'm very good at making it seem like I'm an extrovert in my videos and my live streams. I would much rather just like be very quiet and to myself. But I love hanging out with you guys, so I get very peppy and energetic. I also used to work with children. I still work with children, so I get very like, yes, I'm a Disney princess around people. So there you go. That's my secret to that one. You wrote a short story that is 32 pages. That good? You were 12. For a short story? Sure. Just don't call it a novel. Short stories can be whatever. There are like very short stories, which are a couple hundred words, a couple thousand words. Short stories can go up to like, 30, 40, 50,000 words, depending on the context. So like a novelette is under 10,000. A novella is usually 10,000 to 50, well, we say 50,000, but really it's 60,000. Novels kind of start, some people say 50,000. It's really more, 50,000 is more like a middle grade type level. So you're looking at like 60,000 for YA and up. And actually it's a lot more for certain types of YA and anything higher than YA. So just call it a short story and you're good. Have you ever regretted a storyline in a book after it was published? No, not a storyline. I will say that my writing has changed over the years, so I have definitely learned and grown, and I would, if I were writing certain books now, I would be writing them a bit differently, and things, yeah, probably would be different because I would take them on a different path just because of where I am now, but I don't regret anything, and I don't go back and change things. So you see, like, my Golden Trilogy was my first published book. You see that in the way that I had written it back in the day. I have not gone in and changed it, even though I've learned things and I've changed things, and I would probably make a couple different decisions now. We learn, we grow, it's all good. Let's see, as things jump on me. There we go. I have an idea for a book that I'm excited about. Do you have any tips to stay focused on when you're writing? Okay. I have lots and lots of tips over on youtube.com/KMRobinsonBooks. Get yourself over there and check that out. But when it comes to creating a book, if you intend on having your book published and you want it to make you money, you absolutely have to treat it like a business, period, no excuses. If you do not treat it like a business, if you're treating it like a hobby or something you can do when you feel like it or when the muse strikes, you are not going to make money from your book. You do have to treat it like a business. You have to be an entrepreneur, and you have to be a marketer, and you have to be a writer. It's all a package deal, no matter whether you are indie or traditionally published. So if you want to actually write a book, be strategic. Set time every single day at the same time to write. I don't care if it's 15 minutes, half an hour, 10 hours. I don't care what it is. It doesn't have to be super long, but you have to set that time and then keep that every single day. You cannot go out for ice cream instead. You cannot watch TV instead, unless it's a hobby. If it's a hobby, then it doesn't matter. You can do it on your own terms. But if you want to do it professionally, you must treat it like a business, period. How do I make my book covers? I am a highly trained graphic designer. I have been doing this since I was 14 years old. I'm now 32. I have been in graphic design and photography and videography and like web design and like all the cool things for many, many, many years. So I'm highly trained. I have taken thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of classes, thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of practicing, and I use Photoshop CC, Wacom Intuos Pro, editing tablet, blue light blocking glasses, and I do it live for you on air every single Wednesday on my YouTube page at 3 p.m. Eastern. So this time, only on a Wednesday, over on my YouTube page, you can watch me make them, and you can help make decisions about how I'm making them and what characters I'm using, what types of genres I'm making, and all the fun things. So if you want more on how to make covers, I show you step-by-step, click for click, button for button, and explain exactly what I'm doing inside of Photoshop so you can learn it too. Come join me, it's gonna be fun. Have I ever thought about giving up on a book? Yeah, and I have given up on books. If it's not the right project for this time, then it's not the right project for this time. It's okay to set something aside if it's not working right now. Doesn't mean that you're like totally giving up. Maybe you'll pick it back up later, or maybe it just wasn't the right project for you. That's okay. You don't have to force yourself to continue with something that isn't the right project for you. That's going to make it intolerably hard for you to create. It's going to dampen your love for writing. It is not going to be productive, and if you're bored by it, believe me when I say your fans will be bored by it. So if the book you're writing right now doesn't work, put it aside. You can come back to it later. Find a project that is right for you right now. You have permission. You can do it. And then you can pick it back up later if you decide that it's going to be something that you want to invest your time in. Because books take a heck of a long time to write. And if you're going to be investing that much time and effort into it, you better be doing something you like. That's all I'm saying. Okay. How did you publish your book? I have information on that on youtube.com/KMRobinsonBooks on the indie and traditional publishing space. And we talk about vanity presses as well, so you can make the decision for yourself. I am a hybrid author, meaning I am both indie and traditionally published, so you can learn from both of my paths. I've got all the info over there. Go check it out. Treating it like a business has changed the game for me. I know. It's incredibly important. You have to treat it like a business if you are writing, because if you don't, you're not going to get it done. That's just the way it goes. You're not going to make money off of this. You will not create a profitable business for yourself if you are not treating it like a business. And it doesn't matter if it's writing or crocheting hats or dyeing Easter eggs. I don't know why I came up with that one. I don't care if it's making candles, whatever it is. If you want it to be profitable, you have to treat it like a business. Speaking of which, I don't know if KG Financial is still here, but girls got it going on when it comes to helping you save money and figure out your businessy stuff. You should go check her out. I'm just saying. Oh, also me. Hang out with me because I have all the marketing things for you guys. Sophie's a little bit shocked that I started my business when I was 14 years old. Yes, I did. I started my web design business when I was 14 professionally. I used to do it for small businesses. I did it right up until college, and then I focused on my studies. And then I jumped into the world of teaching and photography and marketing, and here we are. You're 13 at the moment and you're in the middle of writing a book. Is it possible to publish? I have information on how teenagers can publish on my YouTube page, youtube.com/KMRobinsonBooks. You can do it at a young age. You have to be aware that you're a minor and there are some legal ramifications to it, so your parents have to be involved legally. But there's nothing stopping you, aside from like your parents signing off on it. Parents have to be involved. If you're a minor, parents have to legally be like, yes. Otherwise, age is not a big thing. The publishing industry doesn't ask you. If you're indie publishing, nobody cares. If you're traditionally publishing, nobody cares. No one asks your age, your gender, your race, your affiliations. Nobody asks. That is not a thing unless you make it a thing. You just have to have your parents sign the contract. I have many stories in my head, but I don't know how to put them on paper. Well, there are lots of resources for people who want to learn how to write books. So I would get on Amazon and I would search for those. I have not written those. They're out there. I don't know which ones to recommend. I could not tell you, but there are books to help you with that if that's something you're struggling with. Whew. Try making notes when you think of them and then write them, and when writing you can look back. Yeah. Keep notes of things. Always helpful. Had someone like an editor told me that my book wasn't good, and how did I handle the criticism? No, editors have not. I will say, back in the day, I entered a pitching contest, and there were like established authors who were involved with it, and you pitched directly to them, and they were going to be mentors for you. So they were going to read through your book and give you some notes so that in the next stage you can go pitch to an agent. And I had this one really nasty author. I don't remember who it was because it was vicious. And it was for my golden book, actually. She wrote back very nastily and said, no one is ever going to like your book. This is a horrible concept. It's terrible that you took Goldilocks and made her a spy and made her not nice. And she just like said all these horrible, horrible things about it. About the concept. She hadn't even read my book. It was literally just a pitch. She just trashed it. The rest of them were fine about it, but she was just so mean about it. And then within a few months, my book had been published and hit number 7 best-selling book out of every book in existence on Amazon, so I guess I did have a good idea. I don't know who she is. I'm not the kind of person who would go back to someone and be like, oh, look at this. Didn't you say this would be nothing? I'm not that type of person, but even if I were, I don't know who it was. But then I think that whole contest got dissolved because they were having some issues with some of the people involved. So yes, I have had people say nasty things. I had friends, like good friends, trash talk my books to me. It is just something that comes up. I don't read my own reviews. I handle criticism by not listening to people who are not qualified to criticize my books. If it is somebody who is not in this industry and well established in this industry, their opinion doesn't matter. I listen to a select group of people who have award-winning and best-selling books, who know what they're talking about, who are trained in this industry and in the world of writing and grammar and all those things, and those people have qualified opinions to give to me, and they can help me grow. Those are the people I listen to, so I'm very, very careful of who I listen to when it comes to criticism on my books. I will not listen to anybody who is not qualified to give me that. I will listen to people who I trust, who have proven themselves in this industry and have valuable insight, and those people are nice about it. They will help you to grow. They will point out things, but they're going to do it in a constructive way that is not going to feel bad when you get that, and then you can learn and grow from there. So my advice to you is, if you're struggling with criticism, stop listening to people. Do not invite their opinions, do not ask for their opinions, and do not accept their opinions. Find people who are well-trained in this industry, well-trained in your genre and the things that you're writing about, and ask for their qualified opinions. And make sure they're nice human beings and explain how you want that criticism so that you can take the words that they're saying and then implement it into your writing to make it better without it hurting you. All right. Do you have any tips to start writing? Yeah. Your beginning of your book will suck. No matter who you are or what you do, your beginning is gonna suck. Write it anyway, and then once you're finished with your book, you can go back and fix it. You always fix, especially the beginning, because now you know those characters, you know the situations, and you have things that you put in the end or the middle that you're gonna tie back to the beginning, so you're gonna flesh that out a little bit anyway. So when you start, your writing's gonna suck. It is gonna suck for every book that you do. It will not be good. You will fix it after you complete the story and know what you're doing. So don't stress over it and don't get stuck in your head on those opening scenes, because it doesn't matter. You're gonna fix it when you get to that point later. Okay, scrolling back up. keep those questions coming in. You know, the more you talk to me, oh, I can't pick them all up. The more you talk to me, the more likely you are to win any one of my ebooks of your choice, aside from the omnibuses, because those are more than one book in one. And the more you talk to me, the more likely you are to win, and I don't limit how many times you can win, so you can win all my books, technically speaking. So keep talking. Didn't I hear you say once you have a website specifically with marketing information? Yes. So that's just kmrobinson.com. So it's just like my author one, except you drop the books. And I teach social media strategy for entrepreneurs. So anybody running a business of any kind, whether you're an author or a candle maker, you're an artist, you are an accountant, whatever it happens to be, I teach you how to market your business through social media to create more profit inside of your business. I've been interviewed and spotlighted by Facebook for my innovative work in the field. I have been on major platforms. I speak at conventions all over the country. I teach courses for these big businesses, and I have now big businesses coming after me to help them launch their platforms, like Logitech. Have you all heard of Logitech, the big tech company? They've been asking me to help launch their new live stream platform. So I am launching that with them right now. I've had multiple live stream platforms come to me because they've seen my work on TikTok and on other places asking me to launch their new apps. So I'm working with some of them on that, which means at some point you're probably going to see me live streaming on some other apps as well that you can come hang out with, but I can't jump into that one just yet. But we've got all sorts of really cool things going on over there, so you can come check that out. It's just kmrobinson.com, or tons and tons of videos on all of that, on marketing, on how I became such a well-known person both in the book industry and outside of it. Over on my YouTube page is just KM Robinson. So it's KM Robinson Books for the author life and just KM Robinson for the social media strategy life. So you can go check that out. And I've got tons of freebies over there to help you too. Is there a job in where you sell book ideas to authors? So typically most authors come up with their own ideas, so you're not going to get a ton of business. There are some people who do sell like outlines to authors. But if you're going to be an author, you typically are going to need to deal with your own ideas, and most of them aren't buying ideas. Some do. Some people do. If they're really busy, or if they're not sure how to do it, or if they struggle to write, they will. So it's definitely something you can look into, but your job with that is to like flesh it out. You have to have bullet points for everything. You have to like plot the entire story, and then they just come in and like write the dialogue in it, kind of a thing. So you're still doing a lot of the work there. You can't just be like, broad general idea, give me a ton of money for it. That no. You have to do a lot of the lifting, and they just kind of like write the stuff in. All right, continuing on. You love that only listening to criticism from qualified people. Listen, everybody has an opinion, and they like to tell you, and it's usually not good. So we don't listen to the people that see that toxic person? We're walking the other way. TikTok jokes, I know. But we're not listening to people who aren't qualified. Y'all, if you have not studied the industry for many, many years and been in it and know what to do properly, your opinion does not count. Thank you. That's just the way it is in life, in general. Doesn't matter if it's about writing, business, something else. Qualified people only. Ignoring the haters, yep. Oh, my hair. Thank you. Yeah, it's been a thing with my whole hair incident. Oh man, the comments are coming in and they're jumping on me. I'm just scrolling here. You have an Etsy. I need that. I want to publish my steampunk novel. Oh, okay, you're writing a steampunk novel. That's exciting. Very cool. I love steampunk. You guys know I have my steampunk Aladdin retelling, as I just very quickly try to like flip through this. And where is it in my stack of things? Where is it? Oh, here it is. There we go. My steampunk Aladdin retell. Oh, I'm not mirrored. Hang on, let me mirror myself. Mirror mode. There we go. Lions and Lamps. Steampunk Aladdin, super, super fun. If you're looking for Steampunk Rex, you can also hang out with the fabulous Dana Frederick, dear friend of mine. If you have not seen all of like our fun shows and things that we've done together, you should totally check that over on my YouTube page, because she is a doll, and we've done a couple of different cons together, so lots of fun there. You subscribe to my YouTube. Thank you. Ghostwriters. Yes, ghostwriters are real things. Ghostwriters are people who are paid to write a book. They get paid upfront to actually write the book, and then someone else's name goes on it. So people hire them. A lot of times it's like like businessy things and biography type things, they're written by somebody who actually knows how to do it, and then the celebrity's name is put on it, and that person's paid up front. So like I've done ghostwriting for like websites and blogs and other people's books when they need help like fleshing things out, and my name does not go on it. I get paid up front, and that money is for the work, which they then put their name on, and they can kind of zhuzh it the way that they need to. So ghostwriting is definitely a thing, and some people make a ton of money off of ghostwriting. I actually have a number of friends who do ghostwriting, and profitably too. But usually that's less on the fiction side, more on the like the businessy biography type side. Not author related, but what's your favorite movie? Oh my gosh, Anna. That is such a hard question, and I don't know how to answer it. I'm really bad at like picking favorites on things. I love movies like Ever After, that Drew Barrymore Cinderella movie. I love like Nicholas Sparks things. I love things like The Hunger Games. Typically I like things with like romance, but I also like adventure-y type things. I don't know. I'm bad at this. I'm very bad at this. Oh, I really should come up with an answer for these things. Good question, though. Hey, if you're just jumping in, we're answering your questions. Go ahead and drop those now. The more you talk to me, the more likely you are to win one copy of one of my ebooks of your choice. How do you know if you're copying something in your story? Do you mean doing something similar to someone else? As long as you are not blatantly stealing from somebody, if you're not taking their idea and like running with it, you're fine. There will be some similarities. It's called tropes. That is something that happens. It's called tropes. So there are lots of books similar to The Hunger Games. There are lots of books similar to Divergent. I wrote a Cinderella assassin story, and then immediately multiple people also wrote Cinderella assassin stories. And guess what? None of us did it maliciously. None of us knew about the other person's stories. Mine came out first, but the girl who came right after me didn't know I existed. And our stories are totally different, even though they are very similar concepts. So you have a lot of room to explore and do things. Just don't blatantly steal. And for the love, do not plagiarize. Do not take lines and put them in your story. You will get caught. You will get crucified. Don't do it. Keep those questions coming in. I would love to get those answered for you as I scroll and see what else we got going on here. How do you deal with writer's block? If you struggle with writer's block, you are probably someone who needs to plot your book instead of pants your book. If you're trying to figure it out as you go and it's not going well, it means that is not how you need to be writing. It means you need to sit yourself down and figure every single stepping stone in your story out, so you know from the beginning to the middle to the end every single step, and then write your book. You're not going to hit walls. So if the way you're writing now isn't working, you need to change the way you're writing. And I actually have information on that over on my YouTube page. You can go to the Show Me How You Write series on my page. We have 2 videos out right now, and we sit down, authors, and we show you on screen how we write. So I show you on screen everything I have up there, every program I use, everything I have for my writing. We had author JJ King this week. She showed us everything that she did, from dictation to how she organizes to how she plots. She does things very differently than me. You can learn from all of us, and it's an ongoing series with lots and lots of really cool authors, award winners, bestsellers, all the good things, and it shows you how they are working to avoid these things. Now, I will say, as you become a professional, and as you do this professionally in a daily capacity, like this is legitimately a job for you, you are going to train yourself to not have writer's block. So even if you are figuring things out as you go, you never hit a wall because you're so trained to actually write your story. So the more you do it, the more you practice, the stronger you get at it. It's like with an athlete. Let's say you're running a marathon. Book writing's like a marathon. When you're first starting out, you're going to get winded really easily early on. But the more you build up your stamina, the easier it gets, and you're going to be able to pump out that marathon without stopping to catch your breath. Writer's block is kind of like stopping to catch your breath. The more you do it, the less you're going to have to stop. Oh, you wanted to fight somebody for my hair issue. I know, me too. It was so awful. But I got my extensions. So y'all have been seeing my extensions in the videos, and it works well. So at least I have them. It's a little difficult to wear them. Like, I don't wear them out in public, but like I have them for my videos so that when you guys are scrolling through my social media, you see the long hair and you stop. Trauma, so much trauma. It was rough. But please, feel free to take that story and run with it. If you guys have not joined me early for my live streams, you know, every single week here on Fridays, we go live at 3 p.m. Eastern on TikTok. I jump on 10 minutes early and give you a real life from my story or from my life idea that you can turn into a writing prompt, a short story, a full-length story, a cosplay, or whatever. And I give you really great real-life experiences that you can take from my life and turn into a story, whether it's cute or creepy or whatever it happens to be, that I'm not going to write into stories that you can totally take. So if you want stories like that too, and I give you permission to use my life for your stories, you got to show up 10 minutes early. We don't record this for the YouTube page, so it's only while we're live. So I'm just shouting that out if you want to take real-life stories like the time of somebody chopped a full foot of hair off my hair without my permission because it was hidden behind the seat while they were, it was bad. You can. But only if you show up to those live streams 10 minutes early. How are you always so confident on your work? I wish I had your confidence. Well, I was not always confident in my work. I have been doing this for a very long time. Y'all, thank you for the presents. You're so sweet. I have not always been confident in my work. I told you I'm an introvert. I am one of those good girls, like a by the rules, by the book kind of girl, and I have not always been confident in my work. I have been doing this for a very long time. Okay, y'all, with the presents, you rock. But I've been doing this for a very long time. I have been in the professional world for a decade. I graduated college a decade ago and immediately started my own businesses. So I have had to grow a thick skin, and I have had to become really good at what I do. And I am dang good at what I do. I learn my craft. I learn my industries. I know everything about the writing industry. And I know everything about the social media industry and marketing industry. I am incredibly confident in the things that I say and do because I have studied so hard. I spend thousands of hours learning these things. I investigate everything. So I am very, very confident in what I do. I do not hesitate. I do not hold back. I know exactly what I'm saying and what I'm speaking on, and with full confidence, I can teach and I can educate and I can write and I can do my things because I put in all that effort. You are not at the point where I am. So it's going to be a little different for me. You have to build up that stamina. So study. Learn your industry, learn your craft, learn what's important, and the more you do it, the more confident you will become. And the more you learn, the more qualified you become to then speak on this and educate on this. So when I was a new writer, I never would have given advice to people. I was new and learning it. I am now established. I am a bestseller. I got this. I speak all over the place. And now I can confidently come in and say, this is the way that it is. Or these are the things that you need to know. And people cannot come back at me because I got this. But it's because I put in the effort and the work and the study time. And you can too. And also, if it comes down to like your writing work, sometimes you just gotta own it. There are things I would change in some of my books. Yeah, I have grown, I have learned. It's okay. I own what I have created. I own my past. I own what has come. It's all good. It's all good. And you grow and you learn. You're all good. Did you enjoy writing papers in school? Some yes, some no. Depends on the topic. If it was a topic I was interested on, sure thing. If it was a topic I was not interested on, no, I did not. Homework, what? I'm a teacher, guys. I was a teacher, certified elementary school teacher. And I didn't like doing homework. Usually. Any good suggestions on romance novels or books? Well, I'm a young adult author, and all 24 of my books have heavy romantic elements in them. So yes. If you're looking for adult romance, I got nothing. But YA romance, I got you covered. You forgot it was Friday, but you saw me on. Oh, I'm so glad that you joined. Least favorite book to movie adaptation. Yeah, I'm so sad with what they did to my beautiful Divergent. That's all I've got for you. Oh my gosh. So many opinions on that. I actually got to hang out with the author of Divergent when we were both signing books at the same time at New York Comic Con last fall, and girl had feelings. And the audience had feelings. We all had feelings. Everyone had feelings about that adaptation and what they did to that beautiful book. Oh my gosh. So many things. So many things. Favorite color? Purple and pink. If I was not an author, what do you think you would be doing? I am a social media strategist. That is what I do. I teach people marketing and how to grow their businesses through marketing. I also write. I'm also a photographer. And I also do things like graphic design and web design and stuff like that. So I got a lot of stuff. Do you have a favorite genre of music? Oh, I used to be really, really into music when I was young. I used to be able to, like, go to any concert and get backstage passes because I made friends really easily. And I love things like rock and pop and my music surprises people. I do some more, not like heavy metal-y stuff, but like Skillet level stuff, and a little bit heavier. And jazz is really great. Lots of things, but I really don't know how to answer this. You're asking me, like, my preferences on, like, movies and music, and I'm just like, I could have told you a decade ago, but I don't know now. Have I ever wanted to quit writing? Well, writing makes me money, so it's an important thing for me. I mean, I guess not really. There's hasn't been anything that's been like, I'm done with this, but I mean, there's always little things that are kind of like, oh, this is not a fun industry right now. It happens, but no, I'm not quitting because it's making me money. It's a good thing. You need to plot your writing. Yes, if you need to plot your writing. If you're stuck on an island and you can only have 3 books, what books would you choose? I don't know. I don't have any idea. I don't read books over again. So I'm like a one-time reader. I will read through it and now I know the story and I'm not going back to it. So I guess I would probably choose 3 new books so that I had something new to read because I already know the stories and I wasn't going to go back and read them again anyway. Also my books. Is it bad if you kind of recycle settings, names, or weapons and powers in your book? What I'm understanding from that question is it bad if you use the same names in this book as another series that you're writing? Yes, that's a bad thing. Don't do that. You need to be able to have people come to you and say, this character, and you know which character they're talking about. If you have 2 characters named Kara, that's going to be a problem. If you have 2 characters named Alan, that's going to be a problem. So you need to not do that. If you have crossover worlds, that's fine to use some of the same settings. And if you are doing multiple series with like powers and things like that, that's okay. That just means you're writing in that genre and trope, but like separate storylines, separate characters. That's what I did. I have a whole storyline written just coming up with my filler. Oh, okay, cool. Have you tried storyboarding your book? Is that a good method? I have not personally. And I feel like I would want a little more information on that. I would want to do a little research before I say whether or not that's like a good choice. But if it's something that works for you, do what works for you. When you self-publish, do you self-edit first or hire an editor? Very good question. So with self-publishing, you are going to have to, before you publish it, before it goes out to the public, you have to work with a professional editor. Period. End of discussion. There is no exceptions. You have to have a professional editor look over it. So what you need to do, and this goes for actually any type of writing, once you finish writing your story, you must self-edit it first. Go through, figure out any plot holes or errors, issues, fix things. Make it the best you can possibly make it. Then you need to get some beta readers. Have people look at this for you. Make sure there's nothing glaringly wrong with it that you can fix. These are people who are like friends, people in the industry, other industry people that you can swap books with and work with each other without paying each other. Beta readers. When they have gotten notes back to you, you're going to self-edit again. Implement anything you need to. Refine. Make it the best that you possibly can. And then we get to the point where if you're self-publishing, you're hiring an editor. Because it costs you money, and it's not cheap. So hire an editor, make sure it is as perfect as you can make it. Because once they turn those notes back into you, you're not going to want to pay them again to go through it again. That needs to be the final look at your book before it goes out, unless you have like a friend proofread it for you. So unless you plan on spending thousands of dollars to have an editor look over it more than once, get it right as close as possible before you send it to an editor. Now, if you're going the traditional route, you still have to go through all those things, but you're not paying for the editor. You're at that point sending it to an agent who is trying to sell it to a publisher, and when the publisher buys it, they are sending it and paying the editor to go through it. But you have to self-edit, you have to have beta readers go through it, you have to self-edit again. It has to be as perfect as you can possibly make it on your own before it goes to that next step. Have I ever based a character off of myself? No, I have not based a character off of me, but I have added in some of my personality traits or things that I've experienced into some of my characters so that those things were represented in my writing, because I didn't see a lot of those in other places. For example, in my Jade duology, Jade has my allergies. I'm allergic to everything, guys. Candles, perfumes, shampoos, air fresheners. If it's scented, I'm allergic to it. And like, not just a little. But that was never represented anywhere, so I gave Jade my allergies. And I've given like other personality traits to some of my characters, but none of them are completely based on me, or even strongly based on me. They just have like little bits of things, because it's kind of fun to sprinkle those in. You had an idea about hair. Yay! Oh, I'm getting down to the notifications about the presents. Thank you guys for sending me fire and presents and like all the fun things. That's super exciting. And it really means a lot to me that you're sending all these things to me. It's just super sweet. You have so many ideas on what you want to write, but you don't know which one to do first. Any suggestions? Look at the industry right now. Look at what is popular. Look at what tropes people are focusing on. Look at the things that are selling right now. And then identify in your list what is going to likely be the book you can sell the best right now. What is likely going to have the biggest fan base and likely going to make you the most money. And then write that. This is going to shift a lot daily. But just make your best call, or the one that you find most interesting right now, or the one that is the most poignant with what our world is going through, or whatever. You know, there's lots of ways to do it. You just really have to check with it. If you really, 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 really don't know what to write, ask some friends. Be like, hey, y'all, here's my top 5. Which one are you most interested in? And get some feedback. What is your favorite magic animal? Like a zombie werewolf? Zombie wolf wears? A what? I don't know what this is. Is that a typo? Or is that actually something, and I have no idea what that is? I might be totally clueless here. I don't know. I also don't know how to... Tori! Hey, girl. I don't know how to answer that. I've got no idea. Magical creatures? Pegasus? Unicorns? I don't know. Horses. I'm a horse girl. I got nothing for you. When did I start writing? Everybody asked me this and I don't know. It was a few years ago. I was probably around 25, 26-ish. I'm 32 now. That's just the general math. I don't actually know when it was, because I wasn't doing it professionally. I wasn't doing it to be a professional. I was just kind of like hobby writing because it was fun, before I was found out and forced into this industry. Why did you decide to retell fairy tales? So not all of my books are fairy tale retellings, but I do love fairy tale retellings. When I was a very young girl, I read a story that was the true story of the 3 little pigs and the big bad wolf, and it showed how the wolf was not the villain. He was actually very nice, and the pigs were the mean ones. And I loved that we could know this story, but not actually know the story we thought we knew. And so when I started writing, my first 2 books that I wrote, that are not published, by the way, were pure dystopians. My 3rd book, Golden, was a retelling, and I knew I wanted to retell Goldilocks' story because I hated the original story, and I identified with her strongly because when I was a child, my hair was a little bit lighter because I would get out in the sun and not live in a cave like I do now. And it matched the golden color, and everybody identified her as this white blonde girl. No, not okay, not accurate. Goldilocks had gold hair, I had gold hair. They did not represent her correctly, and I hated that she would walk into a house, set up shop, and then run away when people showed up, so I wanted to come up with her true story, and I did. That was published, number 7 best-selling book out of every book in existence on Amazon, and number 1 in all of its categories, and from there, I was like, oh, what else can I retell? And so now I do spins on fairy tales and nursery rhymes and all sorts of fun, fabulous things all the time because I love it. But it's just something that I love reading, I love writing, and y'all, it sells. So there you go. What is the easiest to write for you? Sci-fi. In the most general terms, my science fiction books are definitely easiest for me to write. Yeah. Let's just go with that. I'm just gonna run with that. Did I read Twilight? No, I did not. I am not super into, like, vampires and supernatural-y things, so that really was not in my wheelhouse when it came to the books that I was reading. What do you do when you can write the ending chapters but have writer's block with the setup? Plot your book. Work it backwards. If you know the ending, then you are in the most advantageous place that you can be. You know how you're ending this. So start walking it back. How did they get there? What happened? What led to these things? And work it back. When you actually work things back, it's a lot easier than trying to work it forward. So you're actually in a very good spot if you are aware of how your story is going to end and you can step it back as you go. I look 22. Yeah, I do look young. Fun story. As a teacher, I was certified elementary education, but when I was subbing, I used to work in the high school a lot too. It was the high school that I attended growing up, so the teachers knew who I was, but didn't really apparently recognize me, remember me. Just 4 years later. And so I used to get yelled at when I was in the hallway, like, why are you in the hallway? And I would hold up my badge. I'm like, I'm one of you. The boys used to hit on me in the hallway and then walk in to discover I was their teacher. That was fun. They learned after a few months, but it was an interesting couple of months until people figured out who I was when I was working in the high school. But yes, I do look very young. I am aware of this. Are there any fairy tales that I don't like? I wouldn't say that I don't like them. There are some that I don't want to write unless I have a really good twist to. I wasn't super keen on the Goose Girl story, and I have a Goose Girl retelling because somebody specifically asked me to write it. But it's not my favorite story to read, the original Goose Girl. Didn't love it. I fixed some of the things that I saw as problems with it in my story, but it's not like... It's not that I didn't like it. It's that it's not one of my favorites, and it's not one I would necessarily gravitate toward of my own volition. So, like, things I like better, things I don't like as much. That's what we'll go with. You loved the Three Little Pigs and the Big Bad Wolf. Oh, right? So fun, Sophie. You love my necklace and my earrings. Thank you! All my sparkly things today. I love when you guys point out my jewelry. I actually and I'm very excited for this one. This is a secret for you guys. I'm getting ready to do some of my holiday TikToks and videos, and I just bought the coolest outfit. It is a black sparkly jumpsuit. It's gorgeous, and I can't wait to wear it. And I have purchased 2 sets of a fancy necklace and earrings. They're glittery, they're sparkly. One is like a silvery glitter, one's a black glitter. And I can't wait to debut them to you. So I'm here for the special necklaces for you guys. All right, here we go. Scrolling back up. We have... I better hustle. We're getting toward the end of our hour, and I have to give away a book. You wish that you could send me presents. Oh, you don't have to send me presents. That's sweet of you, though. Your phone was freezing on your live, and you had 1%, so you had to hop off. But you're back on your iPad. Excited that you're here. Half-price books near me didn't have your books when you checked today. All bookstores are responsible for their own inventory, so some bookstores have them, some bookstores don't. I have not dropped a new book in a little bit, so a lot of times they do more of the newer releases, so they had it when it was newer. Some have them now, some don't, but all of them can order it. So if you need them to order things in, everybody's got access to order those. What kind of character did you want to write but couldn't come up with a story for yet? In terms of retellings, I assume is what we're going with. And I actually, I had a couple, past tense, that I wanted to write stories for, but I hadn't come up with a twist for. I do have said twists now. They are just not finished being written yet. So I can't say, and I can't tell you anything about them, but they are coming. But there were 1 or 2 that had been tripping me up for a while. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with, but I got it now, so we're good. How to know when it's a good time to stop a chapter? During the action. because you want people to read the next chapter. If you end on a quiet, boring note, they're going to put the bookmark in and go to bed. If you leave them on a cliffhanger, they are going to keep reading the next chapter and stay up until 3 a.m. Always end with a hook. That said, your chapters should be relatively consistent in size to within like a page or two of each other, and not super long, because people don't like super long chapters. So just be aware. You're adding to the plot of a future book in the series. Cool. What's Goose Girl? Well, you can look up the Goose Girl story, or you can read the Goose Girl and the Artificial by me, and I fixed all the flaws. It's an interesting story, though. It's basically about a princess who goes, in the original, for a marriage with a foreign prince, and her handmaid steals her identity and poses as the princess, and she is threatened, so she can't say anything to stop it, and then has to stop it. Mine's so much better. And I usually don't, I'm not like, my stuff's so much better. No, I'm not a big fan of the original. The original was problematic. I have fixed it. Ooh, things jumping. Things are jumping on me. Hang on. Do you like the last Divergent book 4? Do you mean the story about 4? I did. Or do you mean like the ending of the 3rd book where like the big dramatic thing happens that a lot of people were upset about? Because I loved that. I thought that was perfection. You cried for basically an hour. Are you in the works of a book? Yes, I have lots of books in the works. I am surprise releasing some books for you. I'm not telling you when because it's a secret, but I'm just going to be like showing up one day and saying, surprise kids, we've got a new book, go get it. Because I like to do my surprise book releases. Because when I do surprise book releases, I almost always hit #1 on the charts. It's fun. You love my lives? They make the week so much better. Bailey, thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I'll hit the Queen of Books hack. Yes! Yes! Guys, I love that so much. If you have not joined the Book Royals hashtag yet, please do. Get yourself a crown or stick like something sparkly on your head. I don't care what you do. Go get some pipe cleaners and make yourself a crown. And then hold up books that you love and duet me or join me or whatever. Use the hashtag Book Royals with an S because there's lots of us and we're just going to raise up the industry together. It's going to be fun. Go do it. Join. We have a lot of really cool authors who are jumping into it right now. But it doesn't have to be just authors, so y'all can join too. No, I have not read ACOTAR yet. I do own it, but I haven't read it yet. But I get compared to it a lot, so. Would I ever write a crossover? So far, I have not really written crossovers of my stories. They exist in very different worlds, very different spaces. There's not really a space to be crossing over inside of my series. But I do like to take my characters and I create like blog posts for my website where it's like, it's Christmas party and all my characters are here. Here's what happens when they're all sitting down to Christmas dinner together. Or it's New Year's Eve. We're planning a big party. Here's what happens. And I kind of show you what happens when my characters cross over. It's a fun thing for me to do. That said, you should probably pay attention to what I'm doing over the next 2 weeks. And we're leaving it at that. Well, okay, so I said that, and I just realized how you could take that to mean I'm writing a blog post. It has nothing to do with a blog post or my characters at some, like, party. It is completely something else related. And it's a secret! And I told you this secret if you were on my live stream the other day that is not up on my YouTube page. Gotta show up to my surprise ones. Do I prefer to read digitally or hard copies? I love having physical books for photos and holding things up. For reading, I do tend to sway toward ebooks because I have wrist injuries and it physically hurts me to hold physical books, and I do still do it sometimes. It's just easier for me to do digital because it like marks my place for me and it's lit up, so like it's good lighting. It's not like I'm straining my eyes and I'm not hurting my hands or my wrists by holding a book. So it comes down to the practicality of it for me, but y'all know I got all my books, all the fun things that people are sending. Hey, thanks for joining. Good length for dystopian fantasy. Okay, dystopia and fantasy, 2 very different genres. They are not the same thing. Please don't call them the same thing because it will confuse your marketing and it will hurt your sales. Dystopia is sci-fi and it's over here. You can have fantasy with dystopian elements, but it's not a dystopian if it's fantasy. Fantasy is magic. Dystopia is sci-fi. So when it comes to that, dystopias can be shorter, and usually are shorter than fantasy. Dystopias range from like 60-ish thousand words up to like 75 or 80,000 words. Fantasy usually starts around 70 to 75,000 words and goes up to around 90 or 95,000 words in the YA space. So what's your secret agenda? Keep us all awake with good books. Yes, that's my secret agenda. You always tell yourself one more chapter, but that never happens. I know, right? Y'all, we're 2 minutes away from the end of this, and I am not done. Let me breeze through these questions, and then we're gonna give away a book for you guys. We might have to go a little bit over today, but y'all are here. You're hanging out with me. You don't mind. My dogs might mind because they want to go outside and eat their dinner, but they can wait. Do I have any hobbies? I have lots of hobbies. Lots and lots of hobbies. Hobbies that I've turned into businesses, so they don't count as hobbies anymore. Like, I do photography. No, I do that professionally. I write. No, I do that professionally. I design things. No, I do that professionally. I swim and I horseback ride and I hang out in mermaid tails. Yes, that's the hobbies. I don't know. I'm creative. I make dresses. That's a hobby. Okay. I crochet. That used to be a profession. Now it is just a hobby. I've stopped that. But yeah, things like that. You always stay up late the next morning. You just want to sleep. Reading books. Struggle's real. I used to stress about where to end chapters, so I will add the chapters later. I would recommend doing that as you go because it's a pacing issue. If you're not pacing your book right, it's not going to go well and you're going to have a lot of work to do to pace it properly. I have an episode of the Show Me How You Write series on YouTube coming out soon. JJ King was on this week and she talked about how she plotted. You need to check that out. But Sarah Kale Wilson did an episode with me where she actually shows how she navigates the rises and falls of her story. And it's really, really, hold on one second. I have people texting me. It's really important to see the pacing of your story, and she gives the best like graph of how to do this. So that episode's coming out in the next few weeks. So stay tuned because that's a really important one for you to be watching. When you beta, do you focus on grammar or do you only focus on the plot stories? That depends on what your person is asking for. So whoever is asking you to beta read for them, they should very clearly be defining this for you. I think priority absolutely is plot holes and issues with that, but it is also very helpful to have people check for grammar and typo things. But that should be their secondary effort in that. I want to write a book, but all my ideas are boring, and I'm scared to ask my family for their opinions. Don't ask your family. Your family, unless they are hardcore readers, don't have valid opinions on this topic. Find other readers. Look for people who read heavily in the genres that you want to write in, and then ask their opinions. They're qualified. TikTok never tells you when I start my live, so you're always late. Okay, set a timer on your phone. I go live on TikTok every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, without fail. And actually, it's 2:50 because I jump on 10 minutes early to give you exclusive stories that I do not record for the YouTube live stream replay. So set it. I've got lots of lists of all of my live streams, so you can actually set reminders on your phone so you don't miss those things. No, I have not read the Harry Potter books. Not exactly my ideal genres for reading. You have an idea based on Thumbelina. That's awesome. If you like Thumbelina stories, Amber R. Duel has, oh my gosh, When Stars Are Bright. I almost forgot the title. When Stars Are Bright. It is a 1920s vaudeville type Thumbelina story. Very good. Go check that out. Do foreheads count as crowns? You're funny. If you want to draw a crown on, go for it. I'm getting questions here. Hang on. I gotta race through this, guys. We have to end this. My puppies need to go out. Okay. What do you mean next 2 weeks? I mean, I have something coming out for you in the next 2 weeks. Pay attention. I don't know the exact date because I'm still working on something, but it is going to be big. It's going to be bold. It's going to be flashy. I've been working super hard on something behind the scenes, and it's going to be epic. So pay attention because I got things. Okay. I gotta hustle, guys. Oh, shell jewelry, fun. You love my dresses. Oh, you would love to see my dresses. You actually can see some of them. I've made some dresses from some of the characters in my books. They're on my website. I am on platform-wise, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube are my main ones. I do have some of the other ones, but those are the ones I focus on. Coffee or tea? I don't drink either. I know, I'm really weird. I also don't drink sodas. I'm kind of like a water person. It's weird. My birthday is in February. Thanks for asking. Oops, things are jumping. And my friend is in love with your book. Cool. You just finished Jaded. Ooh, well, if you haven't read the sequel to Jaded, I do recommend you read Risen. That is usually the next jump. But I actually have recommendations over on my website, so you can check out, like, what to read next. I would... Golden might be good. Lions and Lamps might be good. Mulan might be good. Siren Wars might be good. I'm looking at my list of things right here. Any of them. They're all good. Favorite ice cream flavor. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to end this live stream. My favorite ice cream flavor. I'm typically pretty bland and boring. I love my vanilla ice cream. I also love, like, raspberry type things. Like, this is a raspberry sorbet that I've been loving recently. But I'm pretty basic. Oh, vanilla with peanut butter in it. I love that. We're gonna do a special bonus live stream where you guys can just come ask me personal questions, and we'll answer more of these. But I actually have to I have to give away a book, and I have to end this because I have people waiting for my attention. So thank you all for hanging out. Let me go ahead. I'm gonna start scrolling, and I'm gonna start picking a person to win. Whoever is winning, you must message me on Instagram. If you don't have Instagram, you're gonna email me. All that's on my website if you need it. And you are going to pick one of my ebooks. Anything counts except for the omnibuses, because that's more than one book in one. If you don't know which one you want, you will go to my Amazon page. You will read my blurbs, and you will come to me with the title that you want, and I will send that to you later this evening. And that is the way that it is. So I am just scrolling through. Sophie, Reading Edition. You have won. Congratulations. Message me with what you would like. As always, please remember, we are live here on TikTok every Friday at 3. We are live on YouTube and Facebook Wednesdays at 11 a.m. and then YouTube Wednesdays at 3 p.m. We are live 3 p.m. Tuesdays on Instagram, and then surprises throughout the course of the week on all of the platforms. Live book readings, live book cover designings, Q&A, behind the scenes, publishing questions, all the fun things. We give away all the greats, and we have all the fun, and of course, I do surprises where I don't repurpose these live streams, and I tell you major secrets. We are going to be working on a live stream where we talk about book boyfriends, and maybe some real life guys. It's going to be lots of fun. I hope you will join me for that, but I'm not telling you when it is yet, because I don't know. And I've got big announcements coming in the next couple weeks, but I have to go because people are messaging me, and I actually have to go. I see that you're messaging me. Hang on. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Have a great weekend. Thank y'all. I really love the Queen thing. Please don't ever let the Queen thing die. I love it so dang much. This is just fantastic. Okay, guys. I have to go. You have to go too. I will see you. Maybe I'll pop in later this weekend and we'll do like a surprise hangout session. We'll give away some more books and do all the fun things. But until then, I hope you all have a great day. I hope you stay inspired. Please go leave some comments on my TikToks and help boost those up. If you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, get yourself over there because I'm dropping brand new videos and I need you to subscribe over there. And if you're not on my Instagram, I'm doing some brand new reels that you do not want to miss. But I can't tell you about them yet because I have to sign off. So thank you. I appreciate you. Love you all. I will see you on our next live stream. Until then, have a fantastic day, friends. Stay inspired.